Hello and welcome to another Baldur's Gate 3 video. In this video I'll be showing you my way of relatively easily passing the Mirror of Lost skill check without the need of having to respec your characters for this. And this will also be a little bit of a sneak peek for the next character build that I have in mind. So for this you want to go into the armory, because in the armory there is a sort of secret area where you will find out that this was Shadowheart's sort of hidey hole secret lair. In here you will find two notes, one of which is the hastily written note. In this note, when you read it, it will essentially allow you to skip one of the skill checks at the Mirror of Loss, which is really important to make this a lot easier. And then for the next thing we will actually go to the mirror itself, so I will see you there. Okay, so here we are at the Mirror of Loss. So just to show you, after you read that hastily written note, there is now going to be just two options here. If you didn't grab this, there will be a third option, which will say Arcana, I believe, which will try to determine what is the purpose of the mirror. But since we already know this from the letter, there is no such choice here. We just have this religion skill check. We will have to pass in order to gaze in the mirror and be able to get ability scores. But before that, let's get into equipment and some of the characters. So hopefully with you, you have a druid or a cleric. Reason being, they have access to guidance and to enhanced ability. Though we don't need guidance here, we have an item for this, because the same character can't give you both guidance and enhanced ability. You want a cleric or a druid for enhanced ability, for most importantly. For the items, we're going to need a source of disguise self. So for this, you can use the Mask of the Shapeshifter. This is from a DLC that you can buy, but it's completely optional. You don't need it. In Act 3, you can just buy a disguise kit if you don't have access to the disguise self spell. Disguise kit, you can get this from the mummy in the circus, Act 3, so relatively pretty much at the beginning of Act 3. For our items, we're going to need the Warped Headband of Intellect, whereas intelligence score is set to 17. So this just gives you a +3 on intelligence if you have 10 intelligence. If you have 8 intelligence, or somehow you have less, this will give you like a +4, +5, but it will basically take into note that you have a -1 and give you a +4. If you have 10, it will give you a +3. You get this from Lump the Enlightened, the ogre in Act 1. If you kill him, he drops this item. For the ring, Shapeshifter's Boon Ring. While shapeshifting or disguising yourself, gain a 1d4 bonus to all checks. You get this from the Strange Ox. If you kill him in Act 1 and 2, he will drop this ring. And if you smuggle him into Baldur's Gate 3, he should give you this ring as a reward. And finally, Mage's Friend. Arcana +1, Religion +1. You get this ring in Act 1 in the Mage's Tower. And lastly, Silver Pendant. This pendant gives you guidance as a infinite uses, so it is very actually useful if you don't have any source of guidance in the early game. But for this, now we're going to equip all of our items. And we are going to disguise ourselves with the disguise kit. Alright, side note, before we start offering them our ability scores and then taking them back, for whatever reason, I noticed that if you stand in front of the mirror for too long, that's the only explanation I have right now, is if you stand in front of it too long, and then if you interact with it, and when you offer, like, let's say, charisma or whatever, it doesn't, it takes the charisma, but then doesn't give you the option to get something back, which you want. It gives you, like, a random event that happened in your playthrough, and then either it gives you a random ability score, +1, or it gives you nothing. It just takes charisma, and it just takes your ability score, and that's it. Okay, so here we are with all of our buffs equipped. Just to show, I will override my charisma and request dexterity. Charisma is my highest one. So let's talk to the mirror. Religion. So 4 from the headband, 1d4 from the ring, and +1 from different ring, +2 from our bard class, which you can ignore since if you're on the bard you won't have this. We get 1d4 from guidance and advantage from our cleric. We're all high and we get it first try. Perfect.
You feel a presence.
So now we can do the first option. Now if you didn't know, the ability scores are in order. So this is strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. As Daryl, we will offer it our charisma.
Something precious was surrendered still though. For whatever was lost, you feel the presence of something ancient.
This is important.
Unknowable. It seems to be intrigued where once the mirror showed nothing. There is now something.
Okay, so now we succeeded. We gave it the correct ability score, which was our highest one, and it took it. It took 2 of our charisma, and now it will offer us a +2 of a different ability score. We can choose charisma again, which will give us back 2 charisma, so we'll be back at 20, but we'll keep the curse. And what you can do here is you can remove curse and get your charisma to 22. So you can give the ability score you want and also then take it, and then you kind of double dip. But as I said, we will go for dexterity.
You escape across the rooftop. Memory fade the dark mirror.
And if we check our ability scores right now, we have 20 dexterity, 18 charisma. As you can see here, -2 from stolen vigor and +2 from thief's memory. Now, to remove the negative, it is really simple. All you need is a scroll or a spell of remove curse. You cast the remove curse on the character, and we now have 20 charisma and 22 dexterity. As I said, if I offered charisma and then I also took back charisma, this would be at 22. And you can do this with all of these items, with all of the characters in your party except Shadow. She's the only one that can't really do this. So yeah, there you go. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was very helpful. And I'll see you in the next one.